It's been a long budget build-up.
People looked at us, looked at me, and decided that Labour could be trusted with their money.
The pitch has been rolled, the final choreography is underway, and it seems the NHS could be a lonely budget winner.
I'm not going to get into specific figures. I've settled with the Chancellor, but we're not going to fix 14 years in one budget.
You've done the deal with her.
Yeah, the important thing for us is that, yes, we grip the crisis in front of us today, but we also make the right decisions now for the long term. Our focus isn't just on investment in the NHS, but reform.
But with money tied to reform, he'll need to bring NHS staff and unions with him.
He settled the junior doctors' strike and implemented the pay review body recommendations. There are issues at the moment with GPs. So, it's never easy. There is more than 1 million people working in the health service meeting needs. And, I talked about demand. We have more people turning up in A&E departments than we've ever seen before.
The NHS may be boosted, but other departments are not so happy, as speculation mounts about how the Chancellor will fill what's now being briefed as a £40 billion black hole. Some ministers have protested to the PM about department cuts that could soon move from the papers to people's pockets.
I would rather pay a little bit extra. I haven't got a lot to spare, but a little bit extra, so these things, and people can get paid what they deserve.
I think it's a good idea to pay more to keep the country going, and there is definitely a need.
They've got to put the money up or else the NHS is going to fall apart.
£7 billion reportedly to just keep the NHS standing still, a £40 billion black hole that the government say they need to fill. Can you just talk us through some of those numbers?
There's lots of different black hole numbers flying around, and actually some of them refer to quite different things. So I think the two big ones that are flying around are firstly the pressures on in-year spending. So that's the challenges this year, and that's the 22 billion. But really what matters for the fiscal rules, at least the current ones, is what's happening in the future, and in particular what's happening at the end of this decade.
It's worth remembering that the budget is still 10 days away, but what we're really seeing already is that uneasy dynamic between a squeeze on day-to-day spending and potential borrowing to invest. That tension between fiscal responsibility on the one hand and more radical long-term thinking for a Chancellor who, remember, built her pitch on growth. It's been billed as what could be the most consequential budget in a decade, a budget that could define the Chancellor and this government. Ali Fortescue, Sky News, Westminster.